everyone, Mac is back. We're going to continue the Commander series with Uma, Meranda, and Theon. So if you're interested in those commanders, then I'm going to go over them a little bit, some of the details, and let's get to it. So first up is Uma, and Uma was first presented to the game, I believe, when the very first recruitment pass, when they changed from, I believe, is a Westeros pass, the recruitment pass. So that's where she came from. Now, talking about rebel leaders, she's not really that good with the rebel leaders. She has a decent skill when it comes to reducing the defense of a single target, single enemy, which is what you want with a rebel leader. Absorb their health, so she's a self healer. The target will take 3,000 damage every second while you recover 3,000 health, so there's a self-healer for every 5 seconds. So that's actually not too bad, but she doesn't get the skill off quite enough times to be able to do this, to be able to use it effectively. Plus she's a spear, so you're going into a cavalry, and there are other ones that you'd rather have up front than her. Plus her base damage is only not even 5,000, so it's really not that good. Overall against a rebel leader. When it comes to the army, you're talking a spear attack of 30%, cav health reduction 15, and defense reduction 10. So again, right there, you're looking at maybe she helps you in some spear, spear rebel camp attacks. That's about all she's really good for. She doesn't have any awakening to her, awakening quite yet, but I'm sure that's something that'll be coming. In the tavern, she does have combat rate. She has 3 stars, so she's someone that you're going to want to upgrade in the tavern as well. And she does take desserts, which are very sought after, which is something that I've realized a lot of different commanders are sought after. Like if you look where I'm looking here, you can see that if we start with Varys, he takes desserts. Layla takes desserts. So does Egbert, Sheeta, Uma does, of course, and so does Sansa. And then you actually keep on going here. Sheila takes them, and then so does Meranda. So there's a bunch of them right there in the row. They're going to be taking these desserts. So there, it's very sought after. As for the training grounds, she's not particularly good in the training grounds. The only one that I kind of like her in a little bit is the elite trials. When you get to those little bit harder commanders in the elite trials, especially the cav ones, she can actually tank really well because of the self-heal, and does a little bit extra damage as well when she gets that scavenger insects skill off. The body healing recovers health whenever an enemy unit dies, so obviously not going to be doing too much. I mean, I guess in the training grounds, if you put her in there, she could gain a little bit of health when someone dies, but if someone's actually dying on your in your line, you're probably going to lose anyway. 60% chance to deal 5,000 damage to all enemies when taking skill damage. So if she takes skill damage, there's a very good chance that she's gonna do about 30,000 damage across all the enemies. So that's actually not too bad at all. And then she gains 5,000 defense whenever an ally is defeated. So now we do the same thing. When an ally dies, she gains health and she gains defense, and then the defense will actually last to the end. So that's actually a decent skill as well. But again, I'm not really, her base defense is not really, it's still only about 8,000, not even 8,000. High health, which is pretty good, but then very, very little attack, so not really good overall. And next we're going to talk about Meranda. And Meranda against rebel leaders, she's okay. She actually has some pretty good damage that she does. I mean, her base damage is just over 7,000. So obviously she's she's probably not going to tank when it comes to a rebel leader, because only 6,000 defense and 34,000 health at gold. Although her skill, she launches 3 attacks with a frog spear coated with poison. So each attack deals about 7,000 damage. So you're talking 21,000 damage, which is a pretty good amount. And it has a 70% chance of poisoning the target, which deals another 1,100 damage every second for 3 seconds. So there's a high chance of getting it poisoned for another about 3,300 damage. So pretty good when it comes to that for like a cavalry rebel leader. However, in the formations that I've used, I typically don't have her in there, because usually you'll have Julian and Arsalan in there. But I would recommend actually, looking at my, I got to take that back. I actually do have her in there, so she is pretty good in there. You just keep her in the back line where she does get hit, and she does her damage, and she gets her eviscerate skill off, and she does really, really well. So yeah, definitely recommended for that. I just didn't realize I must have changed her. I think I changed her from somebody else recently. When we're talking about PvP in the army, she's really good for a frontline spear commander. I mean, you're talking 30% attack, spear attack, defense, and health across the board. Very, very nice to have that. And if you do have her, if you do have a frontline spear, then you know she's really good as well with her hidden abilities, because she's going to give you more defense, attack, and health as well. So that's a very nice addition to that for the PvP. So definitely get her. Use those epic medals to get in there. And then when we're talking her skill itself, so when your spearman proportion is greater than the enemy's cavalry proportion, the spearmen gain defense, and then when spearman proportion is lower than that, then they gain attack. So if you're being beaten, they're going to give you basically, if they outnumber you, you're going to gain 30% attack. Spear attack. If you're outnumbering them, you gain some defense. So it's kind of a mediocre, I would say less than mediocre type of awakening skill in that regard. And in the tavern, she does have combat rate. She has 4 stars for it. So it's a nice addition there. Finance, you really don't care. Again, she's one of the ones that takes the dessert, so it's very sought after. So use your dessert wisely. Increase each one of the commanders that have dessert incrementally. Don't just go for one and try to jack them up all at once. Do kind of just back and forth with each one, so you gain a little bit of combat rate throughout the game. And now, as for the training grounds, she is an okay backline commander if you need her. Facing off against a cav tank or something, and just because of her base damage is decent, and she has this pretty good decent ability. And looking at her other skills, the chronogmen, I guess is how you say that, chronogmen of the neck are known for their lightning reflexes, adds 3,000 to attack and 240 to evade. Well, she's probably not going to get attacked, so the evade really doesn't help too much. If she's getting attacked, she's not going to last very long at 34,000 health. So she gets a little more every 3 seconds for every 9 seconds. Okay, so it's okay, I guess. For 9 seconds, it's going to last. Deals additional damage with poison or burning targets. So when she does get the 70% off, so instead of doing 3,300, you're going to add another 26, and then more to evade. So maybe you want to put her in a front line. If you get her awakened and her health increases and her defense, she might be decent. But overall, she has some relevance to the game and some certain aspects that you're going to want to increase her and use her in some of the events. So hopefully that helped you a little bit. And last in this small series of commanders, we're going to talk about Theon Greyjoy. And Theon can be unlocked for free to play through one of the events, so that's a very nice addition that they've done. It comes around, I don't think it comes around once a month, maybe every few months. You can get about 10 medals for Theon. When you're talking about Rebel leaders, he is a staple in Rebel leaders, and I mean even at Grey quality, he is a staple. And the reason that is because his ability is just really, really good. He deals, I have him. I don't have him awakened, so even this is not awakened, and he's dealing 8,400, almost 8,500 damage to a target, and then he increases his own attack by 7,500. So, and this is not something that runs out. So, and then it can stack up to 5 times. So if he gets his ability off for the very first time, so he's dealing a base damage of 8,400, and then he does an extra when he gets that first skill off. He adds another. He does a very quick damage of 80, almost exactly the same amount. But he also adds 7,500 to his attack. So now you're talking, what is that, 16,000 damage every hit now. Every single attack is 16,000 damage. And then when he gets it off again, I mean, now we're talking over 20-some thousand damage. So, we're almost 25,000 damage. So then, and then it can stack up to 5 times. So now you're talking 35, 40, 46,000. You're talking almost 50,000 damage per hit if you got it maxed out. So if you could protect him in the training grounds, or I'm sorry, and in the Rebel as a Rebel leader, And you're not going to really protect him because you're going to have one tank in there, so he's going to do just a massive amount of damage. And then you add in these other skills, and it just makes it even more ridiculous of what he can do. When it comes to the army, this is probably his weakest aspect, is the army. Unless you are a bow commander. If you are a bow commander, then and you focused on him, this is actually not bad, because you're the bow health and bow defense of 30% plus you're getting the attack. He's very useful for you there. You're going to want to upgrade him. You're going to want to awaken him as well, to get to increase that, because through here you have the hidden abilities, which are bow attack, total attack, and then, well, we don't care about the fortification attack, but you're getting the bow attack and total attack, so you're getting a lot more visibility too, and you're really going to like that for you when it comes to your bow formations. And then his special ability for his this special skill in the Awakening is during a city defense battle, every time 3 million allied troops join the battle, a total attack of 10%. So if you have a max castle of say about, say 12 million, you just maxed out and you got 12 million troops, if you have him on your wall, you're going to get 30% total attack right off the top right there. 30% just for having him on your wall. So that is a really good skill for a max amount of troop account. So that if you're smaller and you only have like 6 million, then I mean it's still 20% attack in there, total attack too. So he definitely has some benefit when it comes to his Awakening skill. And Theon in the Tavern, his leadership and combat rate 4 and 3, so very good in here as well. He takes meat, and like I said before, meat is something you can get abundance of. So if you're talking, I have him at level 54, and I'm trying to get him up to 60 as fast as I can, because every time you increase a level, you're getting combat rate and leadership, so it's very nice. And as with Rebel Leaders, the training grounds, same type of thing. He's almost a staple in there every time. If there's any type of blessing for a range commander or a mail commander or a bow commander, whenever you see one of those, he's got, sometimes you put him in your front line. I have him awakened. I actually don't have him awakened at all, and he's 28,000, doesn't have a whole lot of defense, but if they increase the defense by 50% or, increase skill damage, I mean, if he increases skill damage, I mean, his skills are already doing, a crazy amount too, so that skill, that good with a bow is really good. His other skills here, you're talking about every 7 attacks, 6,000 extra damage, and reduces the effects of heals on a target by 50% for 10 seconds. So that's whoever he's targeting is just going to die very quickly, because they're not going to be able to heal, and he's going to do his extra damage. What is dead may never die, but rises again, harder and stronger, adds more defense and 50 might when an ally is killed. So if you put him in the back line and the tank in front of him dies, then he gets an extra might, and so a chance of getting off his skill again, and he gets 4,300 defense, so now he's at 10,000, almost 9,000 defense, and then 150 to prowess is more attack. So his skills overall are really good. He's one of the better commanders in the game for good reason. So till next time, though, Mac out.